Hey everyone, today we are diving into one of those huge, absolutely fascinating questions that people have been asking forever. It sounds so simple on the surface, but trust me, the answer is a universe all its own.
So let's just jump right in. What is art? I mean, for centuries, philosophers, artists, thinkers, you name it, they've all tried to nail down one single definition. But what if the whole point isn't about finding some final, perfect answer? What if it's really about embracing the journey of trying to figure it out? The source material we're looking at today puts it beautifully. It frames art not as some problem to be solved, but as a kaleidoscope, this vast, ever-changing tapestry of emotions, ideas, and beauty. And that's exactly the lens we're going to be using for our exploration. So to help us navigate this kaleidoscope, think of this as our roadmap. We're going to journey through 6 totally different but connected landscapes. We'll kick things off with emotion, then dive headfirst into imagination. From there, we'll look at art as a kind of universal language and see how it loves to challenge the status quo. Then, we'll witness its incredible power to create beauty out of pure chaos. And finally, we'll wrap up by considering its enduring legacy. All right, first stop on our journey, a symphony of emotions. This is really where we get to the heart of it, looking at art in its most basic, fundamental role as this incredibly powerful way for us to express ourselves. At its core, art gives a voice to all the stuff we can't quite put into words. It's the canvas for our inner worlds. It's how we share the very essence of what it means to be human when plain old language just doesn't cut it. And every art form does this in its own unique way, right? A painting can start this whole dialogue using just color and light. A piece of music can literally transport you to a completely different emotional state. And dance? Well, dance can tell these incredibly powerful stories using nothing but movement. Okay, so let's move to our next landscape. We're sort of leaving the shores of pure emotion for a minute and setting off on a journey into imagination, which is where art becomes this amazing tool for exploration. This is where art becomes a real adventure. It's not just about expressing what we already know or feel. It's about discovering what we don't know. It's all about pushing boundaries and kind of navigating the uncharted territory of our own minds. Literature is such a perfect example of this. I mean, think about it. A truly great novel doesn't just tell you a story, it dissects the human condition, it challenges the way things are, and it unravels all the beautiful, messy complexities of who we are. It's an exploration for the writer, sure, but for the reader, too. So, we've gone from the deeply personal. Now let's zoom out and see how art connects every single one of us. Welcome to our third landscape, art as a universal language. Art is just such a powerful bridge. Think about film. It can tell a story about a very specific culture, but it still speaks to these universal human themes, creating empathy all over the globe. Or just look around at street art. It can take a boring old city wall and turn it into this vibrant canvas that sparks a real conversation for an entire community. All right, let's shift gears a bit. Because, art isn't always there to be comfortable or bring us all together. Sometimes its most important job is to shake us up, to provoke us. And that brings us to our fourth stop, challenging the status quo. And here you can see this really fascinating contrast. Traditional art often focuses on tangible beauty, a masterfully done painting, a perfect sculpture. But conceptual art comes along and just flips the script. It says the idea itself is the art, which forces us to step back and ask, wait a minute, what even is art? And that question, that's the whole point. This power to provoke is especially potent when it comes to political art. It can criticize systems of power, it can amplify the voices of people who have been silenced, and it can ignite these crucial conversations that society might otherwise try to avoid. It's art as a catalyst for real change. Our fifth landscape. This one might be the most profound of all. Here, we're exploring art's incredible, almost alchemical ability to take pain and turn it into something meaningful. This is art as transformation, or creating beauty from chaos. I mean, these are often the raw materials that artists have to work with, right? The difficult, the messy, the painful parts of just being alive. But the absolute magic is in what happens next. Because art isn't just a mirror that reflects all that chaos back at us.
It's a tool with the real power to transform it.
And what's the result? Well, that chaos becomes beauty. That adversity gets forged into resilience, and that despair finds a little glimmer of hope. This is the very idea behind something like art therapy, where the creative process itself becomes this deeply profound act of feeling. And that brings us to our final stop. After the art has been expressed and explored and shared, what's left? We are now looking at an enduring legacy, art's timeless mark on all of humanity. Ultimately, art outlives the person who made it. It becomes this permanent record of a time, a place, a feeling, a culture. It's the inheritance that we get to leave for future generations, a testament to human creativity that gets woven into our collective memory. And just think about the scale of that legacy. We're talking about the pyramids in Egypt, the plays of Shakespeare, a classical symphony. These aren't just old artifacts sitting in a museum. They are living, breathing conversations that we are still having with people from centuries, even millennia ago. Now that is the enduring power of art. So after this whole journey, we find ourselves right back where we started, asking that original question, what is art? And I think the answer is pretty clear. It isn't just one thing. It's this dynamic, constantly evolving force that just refuses to be put into a neat little box. It's everything we've talked about today. It's a symphony of expression. It's a journey of exploration, a bridge of communication, a fire of provocation, an act of transformation, and yeah, a timeless legacy. It's all of those things, all at once. And all of this leads us to one final thought to leave you with. Maybe the true nature of art isn't something you can find in a dictionary definition at all. Maybe its real power lies in its mystery, in its ability to always be more than we expect it to be. So, we'll leave you with this question. Can art really exist without a formal definition?